Also, Fan TV, Mo, chilling at Mo's house, by the way. Thanks for the shisha and stuff earlier.
All right.
Enjoyed the game. Well, the first half of it's kind of a bit flat. I mean, why in the second half did Arsene Wenger, all right, we know the Ramsey one, but it just all went flat. Brought on a load of kids.
But, you know, people criticise Arsenal for not being able to see games out. We saw the game out. We killed it. We nullified the game. We nullified the tempo. For me, it was...
Try and go for the 6 goals.
Yeah, no, we could do, but I don't think that's... At half-time at 3-0, you can say it's realistic. But, you know, I don't think that's what we should be going for, knowing that we've got Newcastle on the weekend. It's always tough with that Champions League hangover. I personally think Arsenal's substitutions have maximised the chance of us getting a better result against Newcastle. So I'm happy with that. I'd rather win 1-0 against Newcastle and 3-0 against Galatasaray than win 6-0 against Newcastle and have less chance of winning that 1-0 against Newcastle. So for me, I was quite happy. And we did all the hard work in the first half and we eased off. And, you know, I don't know the players will feel like they've had a really tough game today. And that's exactly what I wanted.
Now, Aaron Ramsey's goal, Podolski's goal.
Yeah.
Even Schneider's, there were some awesome goals in that game.
Forget Schneider. Podolski's superb. Just from the moment it left his foot, it was just destined for the net. It was just brilliant. And he proves once again, he's the best finisher at our club. That left foot has got dynamite in it. Absolutely brilliant. And then, you know, I feel sorry for him because you would have thought that he scored the best goal. And then Ramsey popped up with that. And that goal, I'll never ever get tired of watching it. On his weaker foot, not even taking a touch to set himself, didn't lash out at the ball. It was just superb technique, not what you expect from players born on these isles. And it was just absolutely brilliant. And really, really happy that he's showing massive signs that he's back. And a lot of people, myself included, had said that, you know, once he gets that first goal, then the rest will follow. He got that goal against Stoke, and you know, glad that he got it against them because it means a little bit more. And you know, in this game, 2 goals, 1 assist. He's just fantastic today. So really hoping he pushes on with that.
The most relief man today, probably with the pressure come off him a little bit, Arsene Wenger.
Yeah, to an extent, but I feel like this game is actually. There was nothing to win for this game from Arsene Wenger's point.
But then if he lost the game...
exactly. So for him, it was only a lose situation. Because if we won, fine, whatever, we won, Galatasaray, rubbish, all of this sort of stuff, we're still finishing second, it's all get criticism because of that. If we lost, then yeah, all hell will break loose again. But, you know, from his point of view, I don't think he'll really care what the fans say or think.
What do you make of the whole, the train station stuff? Fans waiting for him to let him have it, let them know. You know, they really wanted him to know that they were very unhappy with that performance.
I don't mind the fans waiting for him. I don't mind the fans even booing him because you know you can express yourself, but it's about doing it in the right way. Booing him is probably like at the line of what I think is all right, fine, I'll let that go. But abusing the bloke, swearing at him, at the end of the day. We can go on about how much he's done for the club, but let's go a level deeper than that. He's just another human being. He's a 65-year-old man. You've got the opportunity there. You don't get an audience with Wenger very often. You've got the opportunity there to actually make your feelings known to him. And what do you plan to do with that opportunity? Boo in his face and, throw swear words at him? I just think that's quite unacceptable.
So if you was there at the train station and you'd have gone to the game and he walked up, what would you have said to him? What would you have said to him?
In all honesty, I think you have to think about the impact of your words or how you put something across. I personally would have said to him, Arsene, can I have a quick chat with you? That would have been my approach.
Right, and if he said yes, what would you have asked him?
If he gave me the audience, because I don't think that has any impact, you coming across like a lout, I don't think that has any impact. If he actually said to me, all right, fine, I'll talk to you for 5 seconds, I would have said to him, look, Arsene, what have you got planned? How are you going to turn this around? No, I'd want to see a sign that he realises that what's happening right now isn't good enough. And I'd want to know what he's going to do about it. I don't doubt for a second that he knows what's happening isn't good enough. He knows that. I want to know what he's going to do about it, what his plans are. I know, realistically, he's not going to give me much, information. But then I'd say to him, like, Arsene, I really feel like we need to strengthen the team. We've got resources. There's some key areas in the team. Are you going to get a defender? I would have actually tried to have a proper conversation with him, a bit of dialogue rather than abuse, because that does nothing.
Have you got confidence in Arsene Wenger that in January he will buy what we need? Because last January he bought Kim Kallstrom. We needed a striker. We needed a holding midfielder. He bought Kim Kallstrom last time round. We didn't go on to win the title. Are you confident this time around that he will go out there and get what we need in January?
No, I'm not. I'm not confident that he'll do that, and I wasn't confident in.
So if he doesn't buy what we need, right, and we end up having, say, a bad season, what would you say at the end of the season? Would you say it's time up?
Listen, I've always said, and once and for all, I'll put this one to bed because so many people ask me, am I Wenger in or Wenger out? For me, that is half of a conversation. If someone tells me to leave my house tomorrow, I'm not going to say, yes, okay, I'll leave. I'm going to say to them, where am I going to go? If they tell me to live on the street, aka David Moyes, I'll say no. If they say you can go live in a mansion, aka Pep Guardiola, I'll say yes. It's half of a conversation. You can't be Wenger in or Wenger out without knowing what's going to happen. And if you are saying Wenger out at all costs, I don't care, I personally think it's quite a naive kind of opinion.
He's not the only manager in the world.
He's not the only manager, but how many managers are there in the world that I ask myself, how many managers are there in the world that I trust with Arsenal Football Club, something that is very dear to me?
But you don't trust him in January to go out there and buy the players that we need.
I don't trust him in that. That's partly because of the board as well. But I do trust that if he spends, he'll spend on the right players, because he has shown with the signings that he made in the summer.
The Kim Kallstrom.
Yeah, okay, but the signings that he's made in the summer, and overall, in terms of acquiring players, he's done a very good job for our club. Let's not forget that. I just hope that there's a bit of pressure and a bit of onus on him to actually go out and spend the money that we've got. And I've said it many, many times, we cannot afford to risk it because Champions League is an absolute gold mine next year. The money goes up, the TV deal goes up by 125%. That will filter back down to the clubs. We need to make sure that we're in them Champions League places. That doesn't satisfy me. I'm not happy with Champions League, but it's a dependency. Arsenal have a dependency on the Champions League, so it's imperative we get it. The other thing I want to say, right, is as fans, we've always kind of felt like before the days of social media, we've always felt like it doesn't matter what we do, it doesn't go anywhere. But we've seen now that it actually does. TalkSport are playing clips of Claude. This what happened at the train station, it is in national media. It's getting coverage. The one thing that we can do as fans is just have a bit of calm and just consider the way you actually put yourself across. Let's not rant and rave and go ballistic, because let's face it.
You're having a dig at Claude.
No, I'm not having a dig at Claude. I'm having a dig at the whole of the fan base. Let's just relax a little bit.
It's hard to relax when you go away to Stoke and you're 3-0 down at half time. When you go away at Everton and you're 2-0 down. You were there. Yeah. You were sitting with us and I could see you were very frustrated. When you go away to Chelsea and you're 4-0 down. When you go away to City and you're 3-0, you start to think to yourself, is this Arsenal I'm following or is this Luton Town or something? What's going on?
Let me just say, when you open your mouth about Arsenal, or when you start tweeting about Arsenal, you've got two options. You can either do it in a moderate, sensible manner, or you can go mental. Going mental is not going to achieve anything. Why not actually have a proper conversation, relax a little bit, know that, a few weeks ago we were saying Man City are out the title race. It's all Chelsea's, they're going to walk it, they're going to go undefeated. Since then, Man City are smack bang in the title race. A lot can change in football. I'm not saying that it's going to change, don't get me wrong. I'm hurting just as much as all the other Arsenal fans that are going mental out there, but the Christmas run-in is coming. A lot can change. Let's just back our team. That's the number one point we need to remember. Back your team first and then complain afterwards. But do that in a way that's not going to embarrass you and not going to embarrass the club. I do have my concerns. Arsene Wenger has got a lot to answer for. Right now, trying to force him out of the club is not going to achieve anything. We'll be worse off. We'll be taking a step backwards. Let's put the pressure on the club in the right way to spend money. I've heard that there's a protest against, for Wenger out against when we play Newcastle. That protest should be about making sure that the board and Arsene Wenger do the right thing for the fans and the right thing for the club in terms of spending in the key areas that we need to, because ultimately that's what we want. Whichever manager comes in, whoever gets hired or fired, we want them to buy the right players, because that's what we watch and that's what we support. That's what the protest should be aimed at right now, in terms of, you know, trying to do something to get what we want. But the one thing I'd say, you can hold your banners, you can do your marches, you can tweet, you can shout, you can do whatever the hell you like. The board do not speak that language. The board speak one language, and that is cold, hard cash. Until you start doing something that the board can understand, that the board can hear, you're wasting your time. I'll join any movement that tries to do something for the benefit of the club, but you have to know, you have to realise that it is wasting your time and it is wasting your breath unless you speak the language that the board know, and that's money.
When I fell in love with her. But eventually, that love it goes, doesn't it? When she throws the suitcase out the window on top of my head, it goes, doesn't it? And locks me out, and after coming home from the cup final. But that goes, you know, and it's finished, and the relationship finishes. It's the same thing.
Can Arsene Wenger, listen, all